Hello dear students. In this lecture we are going to see the point fluctuation test and replica plate technique under the chapter of mutation and reversion. Already we have started this chapter and the next point included in this chapter is fluctuation test and replica plate technique. So let's first focus at fluctuation test. The two theories are being developed by the scientists. One is induced mutation theory, which is also called as adaptation mutation theory, and second is spontaneous or random mutation theory. Spontaneous mutation, these are the mutation which occur from the natural changes in the DNA. Already we have seen these terms in our previous lectures. What is spontaneous mutation? What is induced mutation? The spontaneous mutation are the mutation that occur without a known cause. Okay, it occurs naturally. It occurs randomly. It doesn't require any type of mutagenic agent. That is termed as spontaneous mutation. And second is induced mutation. We induce the mutation by using any chemical agent or any physical agent. That is termed as induced mutation. Now the fluctuation test, or it is also called as Luria-Delbruck experiment. This experiment, it is used to predict whether mutations are independent of natural selection or they are directed by the selection. Means this fluctuation test or Luria-Delbruck experiment, this experiment, it actually predicts whether mutation takes place naturally or it is being induced. Okay, so on this base fluctuation test is depend. म्यूटेशन ये स्पॉन्टेनियस होते हैं या इंड्यूस्ड होते हैं, ये हम फ्लक्चुएशन टेस्ट थ्रू डिटरमाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड यस, इवन after the fluctuation test different experiments scientists have been performed and they have predicted the different things, but the startup for the mutation was the fluctuation test. Okay, so let's see the experiment setup. So this fluctuation test, it is also known as Luria-Delbruck experiment because these two scientists have developed this experiment. They have taken the initiative for this experiment, hence the name is given from their name. Okay, so this experiment start from the E. coli strain. Okay, so consider a single cell of E. coli wild type. In my last lecture I have told you the two terms, wild type and mutant type. Wild means normal, original, that is the wild type, and mutant type means a mutation has been taken place, that is termed as mutant type. Okay, so E. coli strain was taken. Okay, E. coli cell was taken and we have to assume phage T1 was added in the fourth generation. So let's see the experiment. So this experiment starts from the single cell of E. coli. This is the single cell of E. coli. Okay, then after first generation two cells have been developed. Okay, in the first generation two cells have been developed. In the third generation fourth cells have been developed. In the fourth generation, okay, let me write with the pen. Yes, this is the first generation, this is second generation, this is third generation, and this one is fourth generation. Okay, so in the first generation the cells which are developed, these are 2 in number. In the second generation 4 cells have been developed. In the third generation 8 cells have been developed, and in the fourth generation 16 cells have been developed. Okay, from this single E. coli strain. So what is our aim? It has started from the single strain of the E. coli, single cell of the E. coli, which was wild type, normal type, original type, and is allowed to grow and divided for 4 generation. Okay, उसकी 4 generations form की है. After that, in the 4th generation, scientists added T1 bacteriophage. Bacteriophage, these are the viruses that attack the bacteria or that infect the bacteria. Okay, तो बैक्टीरियोफाज ऐसे वायरसेस होते हैं जो बैक्टीरिया पर अटैक करते हैं, and for their replication they use the host machinery, they use the bacterial cell machinery for their replication. Okay, so what the scientists did in the 4th generation, 16 cells have been developed. Okay, so in the 4th generation, scientists added T1 bacteriophage. There are different types of bacteriophage like lambdaphage, T1 phage. So scientists added T1 bacteriophage in the 4th generation. Now we have started with the wild type, that is original or normal. Okay, and this E. coli, which is sensitive to T1 phage, it will get lysed. Okay, now this first stage, or we can say first strain, it is sensitive to T1 phage. Okay, it is sensitive to T1 phage. So what will happen? As we will add the T1 phage, this cell will get lysed. As this first is sensitive, others are developed from this cell, so automatically this cells will also be sensitive to T1 phage. Okay, because all the progeny are developed from the first cell. Okay, so this all will be sensitive to the T1 phage. Okay, now but दिस वॉज दी नॉर्मल स्टेट. ओके, ये वाइल्ड स्टेट के बारे में मैंने आपको बताया. T1 phage हमने 4th जनरेशन में ऐड किया है, लेकिन पहला स्ट्रेन क्या है? इट इज सेंसिटिव टू द T1 phage, देयरफॉर इट विल गेट किल्ड. Okay, as this is sensitive, others are also automatically sensitive. Why? Because the rest are also developed from this first cell. But if a mutation is occurring in any of this cell, अगर इसमें से किसी भी सेल में अगर म्यूटेशन होता है, तो जो सेंसिटिव है वो सेंसिटिव का कन्वर्जन रेजिस्टेंट में होगा. ओके, दैट सेल्स इट विल डेवलप रेजिस्टेंट टू दैट T1 phage. ओके, when there will be a mutation. So as these cells they develop resistant against T1 phage, they will not lyse, they will not get killed. Okay, that will be the case. Now suppose if I consider that induced mutation theory is correct, पहले हम induced mutation theory correct ऐसा मान लेते हैं. Okay, assumption कर लेते हैं, assume कर लेते हैं that induced mutation theory is correct. Then what will be case? Here mutagen is T1 phage. Okay, यहाँ पर mutagen क्या है? T1 phage. Mutagen, these are the agent that causes mutation. Okay, so here T1 it act as a mutagen. So what will happen? First case is I have considered that induced mutation theory is correct. So T1 phage is added only in the 4th generation. मैंने T1 phage ये सिर्फ 4th generation में add किया है. And I am considering that this induced mutation theory is right. So what will happen in this condition? I should get mutation ओनली इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ T1 phage, क्योंकि मैंने तो एज्यूम किया है ना कि इंड्यूस्ड म्यूटेशन थ्योरी ये करेक्ट है. तो जब मैं जिस जनरेशन में मैं म्यूटाजन डालूंगी उसी जनरेशन में मुझे म्यूटेशन दिखना चाहिए. ओके, सो दैट इज द कंडीशन. आई शुड गेट म्यूटेशन ओनली इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ T1 phage, right? So I have added in the 4th generation, so I should get mutation only in this 4th generation. T1 phage is present only in the 4th generation and not in the other, not in the first, not in the second, not in the third. Okay, so it is present in the 4th generation. Now suppose I have carried out this experiment second time. This is the first time and this is the second time. Second time में भी मुझे mutation 4th generation में ही दिखना चाहिए, ना कि first, second, third. ओके, अगर मुझे फर्स्ट सेकेंड थर्ड में दिखता है तो it is not right, because what I have assumed दैट just induced mutation theory is correct for a while. ओके, सो मैंने फोर्थ जनरेशन में ही T1 फाज डाला है. जब मैं सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट सेकेंड बार कैरी आउट करूंगी तो मुझे फोर्थ जनरेशन में ही म्यूटेशन दिखना चाहिए. ओके, सो इफ रेट ऑफ म्यूटेशन is same, is remaining same, okay, so I will conclude that induced mutation is correct. अगर मुझे सेकेंड सेट में भी फोर्थ जनरेशन में ही म्यूटेशन दिखता है तो मेरा assumption करेक्ट होगा कि yes, induced mutation theory is correct. Okay, so that is about the induced mutation. Now in the second case, अब मैंने माना है कि random mutation theory is correct. Okay, so in the second case, if I consider that random mutation theory is correct, अब इससे कोई भी म्यूटेशन नहीं रिक्वायर्ड है, because we know that random mutation or spontaneous mutation, it occurs without any mutagen. Okay, without any mutagen, or it may occur in presence or absence of mutagen. That is called as the random mutation or spontaneous mutation. So mutation can occur without T1 phage. Okay, so it can occur without a T1 phage or irrespective of T1 phage. So it will occur in any generation. It may occur in the fourth generation, it may occur in the third, it may occur in the second, it may occur in the first. Okay, मैंने fourth generation में T1 phage add किया है. But now what is my consideration? My consideration is random mutation is correct. So रैंडम म्यूटेशन अगर करेक्ट होगा तो कहीं भी मुझे म्यूटेशन दिखेगा, नॉट ओनली इन द फोर्थ जनरेशन बट इट मे ऑकर इन थर्ड, सेकेंड, फर्स्ट और एनी जनरेशन. ओके, सो इफ आई हैव कैरिड आउट दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट सेकेंड टाइम, I can see mutation in any generation, and that mutation is passed to progeny of cell. If it takes place in the first generation, ये बाकी के जनरेशन में भी कैरी आउट होगा. अगर ये थर्ड जनरेशन में होता है तो ये फोर्थ जनरेशन में भी दिखेगा. ओके, सो ये रेट ऑफ म्यूटेशन इज डिफरेंट. okay, when rate of mutation is different, you can see in the first, when I have carried out this experiment first time, मुझे थर्ड और फोर्थ जनरेशन में म्यूटेशन दिखा, और जब मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट सेकेंड टाइम कैरी आउट किया सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट, तब मुझे फर्स्ट जनरेशन में भी दिखा, सेकेंड जनरेशन में भी दिखा, थर्ड जनरेशन में भी दिखा और फोर्थ जनरेशन में भी मुझे म्यूटेशन दिखा है. ओके, सो योर रेट ऑफ म्यूटेशन वॉज डिफरेंट. Hence, it has been proved that random mutation theory is correct. Okay, because when you compare this both the theories, induced mutation theory and spontaneous mutation theory, how you will predict that induced mutation theory is correct? जब result ये same होंगे first time also and second time also, then it proves that induced mutation theory is correct. But here results are different because here there is no requirement of any mutagen. Okay, and in any generation we can see the mutation. Hence it has been proved that random mutation theory is correct. So how you will interpret this both the theories? If induced mutation theory is correct, mutation will occur ओनली इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ म्यूटेजन. अगर मैं फोर्थ जनरेशन में डालती हूँ तो मुझे सिर्फ और सिर्फ फोर्थ जनरेशन में ही दिखना चाहिए. अगर मैं थर्ड जनरेशन में डालती हूँ देन आई मस्ट ओनली गेट द रिजल्ट एट द थर्ड जनरेशन, नॉट द अदर. ओके, सो वी हैव एडेड द T1 phage in the fourth generation. Okay, so the result was expected just in the fourth generation. And if random mutation theory is correct, how you will interpret that? Mutation can occur irrespective of the presence of mutagen, that is randomly in any generation. Okay, तो यहाँ पर comparison किया है induced theory and random theory. See, in the fourth generation we have added T1 phage. Okay, and when I have carried out this experiment second time, there was no any type of mutation in other generations. It was just observed in the fourth generation. Okay, so that was the induced theory. मतलब जहाँ मैं म्यूटेजन डालूंगी वहीं पर मुझे म्यूटेशन दिखेगा. Okay, that is the induced theory. रैंडम थ्योरी रैंडमली कहीं भी होगा. मैंने तो सिर्फ फोर्थ जनरेशन में T1 phage डाला था, लेकिन मैंने जब सेकेंड टाइम एक्सपेरिमेंट कैरी आउट किया तब मुझे फर्स्ट में भी दिखा है और बाकी के जनरेशन्स में भी दिखा है. ओके, यानी कि random में it is not necessary to add the mutagen at every point because it is random. Okay, we define random as mutation that can occur in presence or absence of mutagen. So that is the differentiating between induced theory and random theory. Hence, scientists concluded that spontaneous or random mutation theory was found to be correct. Okay, because it doesn't require any type of mutagen, and even further experiments also have been performed एंड फर्दर प्रिडिक्शंस भी आए हैं, फर्दर साइंटिस्ट ने बहुत से कंक्लूजन्स भी किए, लेकिन जो स्टार्टअप पॉइंट था वो फ्लक्चुएशन टेस्ट से हुआ था एंड इट हैज़ बीन प्रूव्ड दैट this mutation occurs spontaneously, okay, without any known cause, if there is no any addition of or there is no any requirement of a mutagen. So that was about the fluctuation test. Next is replica plate technique. Now you all students are aware of, especially S5 students are aware of replica plate technique because you have performed in lab itself. Okay, so practically also you have performed and now you are studying it theoretically. So replica plate technique was developed by scientists Joshua and Esther Ledgerberg in the year 1952. Okay, and that technique is termed as replica plate technique. The meaning of replica is duplicate. Okay, so we just mimic the colony, we just duplicate or replicate the colony, and this test is used to determine the presence of antibiotic resistance in bacterial culture prior to exposure of antibiotics. So this test is also used to determine the presence of antibiotic resistant bacteria. How the replica plate is been performed? The protocol for a replica plate is, first of all you have to prepare any bacterial suspension. Okay, so पहली step है preparation of bacterial suspension. That bacterial suspension take you have to prepare that suspension in saline or you can prepare in sterile distilled water. Okay, and allow it for the incubation. So after 24 hours, that will be your 24-hour old culture. Okay, so after 24 hours you will see the growth, you will see the turbidity, means your bacteria has been grown, your E. coli has been grown. Okay, after that, after preparation of a suspension, you have to spread that suspension onto the sterile nutrient agar plate. Okay, prepare the cereal dilutions. Yes, you can prepare the cereal dilution and spread that cereal dilution onto the nutrient agar plate aseptically. After spreading, allow the plates for the incubation. After incubation, that will be the plate which you have spreaded. After 24 hours, you will see the growth in that plate and label that plate as a master plate. Okay, so that this is your master plate. So label this plate as a master plate. Now what you have to do, you have to replicate from the master plate to the another plate. For the replica, you use the replicator. Okay, this is the instrument called as the replicator, which consists of the stand, and at the top, that top end is covered with the velvet cloth. Okay, this top end is tied with the velvet cloth. Why velvet cloth? What is the principle behind using this velvet cloth? The velvet cloth consists of very fine thread. Okay, it consists of very fine thread, and that fine thread, it acts as a needle to pick up the colony from one plate to the another plate. Okay, and hence we use the sterile velvet cloth. We sterile that cloth, we tie it to the replicator, and plus we sterile that replicator, and then it is used for the replica plate technique. Okay, so yes, it has been pressed onto this master plate, and from the master plate, this replicator is been placed onto this minimal media. Okay, this is the nutrient media, this is the minimal media. Minimal media means it lacks the nutrient. Okay, sufficient amount of nutrients are not been present as compared to the nutrient agar medium. So in the minimal medium, the name itself indicate the nutrients are in the minimum quantity, hence the minimal medium. So here from the master plate we have replicated in onto this replica plate. Allow the plate for the incubation. After 24 hours, you can see the difference between master plate and your replica plate. So this plate is termed as the master plate and this is your replica plate. So what you will see, and before replicating, you have to mark at any end. You can mark the yes, you have to mark the plate just to differentiate between which colonies are lacking. Means the colonies which are present on the master plate, suppose the colonies are 10 in number, so onto this minimal medium also the colonies must be 10 in number. Okay, but if it is not in that 10 in number, means what, there is a म्यूटेशन. अब इस सभी एक्सपेरिमेंट में मैंने कोई म्यूटेजन आपको बताया नहीं. सो यर that is the point. Here we use the mutagen, and that mutagen, it may be any. Either you can use physical mutagen like UV or X-rays, or you can use the chemical mutagen. You can add any chemical. Okay, so the best example I can say of the mutagen is UV. Okay, when you will spread the plate, मैंने आपको बताया सबसे पहले आपको suspension prepare आपने किया. Okay, first of all you have prepared the suspension. After preparation of suspension, you have spreaded it onto the sterile Na plate. After spreading and before incubation, you have to place that plate under UV, or you have to expose that plate to the UV. Okay, so you have to expose the master plate to the UV. After exposure, you have to place that plate into the incubator. Okay, you have to place that plate into the incubator, and after 24 hours that will be your master plate, and then you have to replicate. Okay, मतलब अब क्या है आपका, आपने वो प्लेट यूवी को एक्सपोज किए, और यूवी इज द म्यूटेजन. इट कॉजेज द म्यूटेशन, इट डिस्टर्ब्स द gene sequence. Okay, so when you will replicate onto this minimal medium, allow the plate for the incubation. After incubation, you have to put up the mark just to identify. Before incubation you have to put up the mark so that you can identify which colony has been developed and which colony has not been developed. So here you can see the identification. Here two colonies are grown together, but here just one colony is developed and second colony is absent. It indicates that इस colony में mutation हुआ है. Okay, there is been mutation in this colony and hence it is not developed. Just a minimal medium is also there, so the question will arise, ma'am, minimal medium is there, so maybe nutrients may be low, so it may have not been developed, but that is not case. Okay, we have exposed the plate to the UV. So when there is mutation in the gene, it will result in the absence of colony. Okay, so yes, you can identify that in this colony there is mutation. Okay, and hence it is not been developed. So that in that way you can perform the replica plate technique. So that is all about the fluctuation test and replica plate technique. I hope it might be clear to you. Thank you.